Jody.
Sir, what's going on?
Welcome back. We got a lot to talk about, my friend.
Let's get into it.
Welcome back, everybody. Can-Am Connection. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the video. Make sure you jump into the description and head over to Jody's channel as well. We've got a lot going on today. A lot.
I say before we get to the main event, which is what we should be talking about, East versus West, there's been a lot of distractions lately in the last 7 days or so.
Okay, and this is all kind of related because I think we should talk about the Jordan-Tsonev match or Jordan-Tsonev match.
Yes.
With Matt Mask, because I want to kind of roll this into the next subject as well.
Let's do it.
Because, I mean, I never want to be disrespectful to Mike Gould, but let's face the facts. He took this match on short notice. We didn't know where he was at. He looked like a smaller version of what we are used to seeing when he is ready for competition. He did as well as I would have expected, given the circumstances. Hats off to him for taking the match.
Yes. Who did he sub in for?
He subbed in for Pork Chop.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So that was the kickoff to the pay-per-view on Umesh's channel, or on the streaming service that he used, the pay-per-view service, which, you know, I thought he did a good job with the pay-per-view. First crack at it. I was okay with it. I was happy with it. I paid the money and watched the matches. Now, the Mike Gould thing, Mike did as well as I expected him to do. Tsonev looked incredible, and he was able to initiate hooks all day long just with some shoulder movement.
That guy's a hooking machine. So, Marco G, T5, what's up? Scott, what's going on? Not my monkeys, not my circus in the house. Rush Schrader, Fox 8 Ball. Everybody, welcome. And this is my sister. Yes. Mr. James Peck, what's going on? Everyone, welcome to the show. So, what does that do for Mike Gould now? Is that like, hey, I got nothing to do, I'll sub in? Or is it like, okay, now I know where I'm at. Now I know where I need to get to get back in my name back in the hat, you know, to get back in the game.
Zero impact. James Peck, I'm going to comment on that. Nobody can say Matt was off his game, because in the last 2 years, there have been a number of super matches. And the same thing keeps getting said. He's off his game. I don't believe that. I don't believe he's off his game. I think he needs to be realistic with himself, where he's at and what he needs to change. And when you have, and we're jumping ahead a little bit, Jody, because when I see stuff like that, it's not realistic. When you tell a guy like Matt Mask, you're just off your game, you had a bad day. Bullshit. You didn't have a bad day. You just need to alter your training. Find some people that aren't telling you, oh, just do this, just do that, just get a little bit stronger when you're in that position. No, it was, Matt has one really, really good move. But when a guy has figured out the blueprint to stop it, and he's that strong, and he can just initiate that little bit of a hook with a shoulder movement, and your speed seems to be have lost you with a much larger size, that's a fact. Maybe it's like, okay, Matt has access to some really good trainers.
Right.
Frazier's Next Level Coaching. They're good friends. They used to train together all the time. Frazier helped him get ready for the Marcio match that he won. You can't just pull every week at practice and do the exact same training routine and expect all of a sudden to be top of the food chain again. You can't.
Can I comment on that?
Absolutely.
With James Peck. So, and again, everybody, I feel like I always need to do this for Ryan and myself. When we make these comments, this is not a detriment. These are just straight up facts. Now, James said, hey, Matt was off his game. Well, how many times can you be off your game? How many matches has Matt have and he lost? You know, like at some point you got to go, okay, how many times are you going to be off your game? You know, I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on Matt, but it's like going the last 4 or 5 matches, super matches, you've won 1. So how many times can you be off your game? I mean, if I'm and I hate to use Derek Smith in these conversations, but I'm gonna use him. He went to East versus West, lost twice. Okay, guess what? I'm gonna go back to the lab. I'm gonna work on a few things. Now he's gonna be pulling next month, right, against Austin Jaggers. So at some point you got to go. Okay, where's my holes at? Go on the English channel. Those matches Matt have are on there. Matt himself can go on there, look what he did, and go, okay, you know what? That's what I'm missing. There's my mistake there. And then fix it, right?
The problem is Matt has a really effective style against a guy like Devon Larratt, and Devon seems to have influenced, Matt getting into some of these matches. I don't think he's given him the best advice. I just don't. I think he really needs. Hey Ryan, do you think there's something to Canada not doing really well? Pork Chop getting injured, you getting injured at Arm Wars, Matt not winning. Are there enough? I don't know, Carolyn. Like it's can't say Canada's not doing well when you got Devon kind of killing everybody.
Joe Fox been killing it too, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And John Terrian. Oh, John Terrian.
Yeah. I got injured, freak occurrence. I came back up and I won some matches since then. Pork Chop, freak occurrence, but that was almost a direct result of being in a King's move and having a guy press through. Which, if you look at the other super match between the two guys in the middle of the two Tsonev matches, it was a King's move spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a good move to stay uninjured. Matt is not injuring himself lately. He's got a really good move. He seems like he's not as fast as he used to be at initiating it. And maybe that's because he's a much, much bigger guy.
Right.
But you need to put some B and C moves in there that are super effective. And Tsonev, I mean, my God, that should have been the guy that maybe, Matt could have beat, right?
Yeah.
But the guy is world class. And he's a natural athlete and a student of the sport. He says when he goes to the Worlds and takes all the tests.
Right. And James Peck, just so we're clear, I know Matt, your boy and everything. We're not picking on him. We're just kind of stating the facts. Like, anybody who sees me on 98%, I have a hashtag. Those are the facts. That's basically what we're trying to say. And we're not picking on him. We're not downgrading these guys. It's just it's the eye test. We all see that. It's like going, bro, Matt, I know for his frame, would it be conducive for him to go into a hook? I don't know, because he has a long arm and he's real tall. So it might do, I don't know. He has maybe with a press. If you're that tall, 6'5", right? And you got a long lever, get on top of that and press down.
So yeah, you're right. Sorry to interrupt, Jody. Yes, not picking on Matt's going to watch this. He's going to be pissed off, but it's also very frustrating to watch him not be successful when he should be.
Yep.
Because he's gifted enough that he can come through this, but he's got to change things up just a little bit. Maybe a whole lot, to be honest. When he got his move in those starts with Tsonev, it was over. He could hit right through him. Unfortunately, he didn't initiate on the go. I think he got called on a fast start. When Tsonev was able to just do that little boop and just get him inside a little bit, it was over. Like there was nothing that he could do there. And it was the same thing with oh man, names. The guy Devon just beat a month ago.
Talking about Sanders?
Sanders. Yeah.
And like I said,
even Matt, Rush Trader, Matt will say that. He'll say that he needs to change his training. I hope he means it this time. Because before it was like quitting smoking, doing all this other stuff. Be realistic. Just take, maybe Matt, I know he wants to pull these super matches.
Right.
Maybe he just needs to hit some tournaments.
Well, you can always do the East versus West qualifier because technically that's still a tournament. I'll be in one in a couple weeks, right? Now I'm going to referee, But, there's a fraction of me that says, let me just throw my name in the hat and see, just to get some tournament, because I haven't pulled a tournament since December of last year. So I'm itching to do, and I got a big thing coming up next month. But still, it's just I'd like to. It's still a tournament, and maybe Matt can do something like that. I don't know, but when is
we gotta remember how we got here, Jody, and we got here pulling in tournaments, getting lots of experience doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've said on this show last week and shows before in the past, once you get a bite of that apple, it's kind of hard to go away from that. People get spoiled. UAL got spoiled. WAL got spoiled. East versus West, king of the table. They're getting spoiled, not in a bad way, but just to the point. Once you've been on that marquee, you accept nothing less than that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So then it brings us to our next subject that we were kind of getting into.
Yeah.
The Devon Larratt stuff. Like,
oh boy.
It goes into, well, we had his back and forth with Michael. Mm-hmm. We had the footage of Devon recording the phone call with Michael without Michael knowing he was being recorded to be put on YouTube. We had the Paul Italia's involvement with putting basically a price on his head.
A bounty. What it is.
Bounty on his head for someone to beat him. And then we go a little deeper, and we all of a sudden have a video that gets deleted off of Neil's channel because he's going back and forth with Rob Vigent Jr. And Rob is, I was just thinking a week ago. Where the hell is RVJ? And then there he is.
Was that glass of wine he was drinking? What was he drinking?
When Rob drinks wine, he does so like, how some people have a little wine glass?
Yeah.
He drinks it in a cup like this.
Hey, it's all going to the same place,
But yeah, he likes his wine. So he was, had a few drinks, and him and Devon basically went back and forth and threw around a bunch of money. And, Rob Vigent Jr. brings up the drug testing thing again. Said for a little bit of money, he'll do it natural. For a lot, he'll take the drugs. I don't know what to make of it all, man, because none of them are pulling each other anytime soon. Michael's got different goals. Devon's got matches lined up. It's entertaining as hell, but I don't think Michael's being treated very fairly in this whole situation. He's, anytime you're secretly recording somebody, man, that kind of
it's the unwritten rule. Here, I'm gonna say this, and I feel like I always got to defend Michael because he's a good friend of mine. We talk often, a lot.
I talk to Michael more than I talk to most Canadian arm wrestlers, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Like Michael and I have talked about this, and Rebecca have talked about what's been going on. So I'm not going to share what we talked about because I kind of keep those between us, as Devon should, but go figure. I'm going to say this, right? And I said it last week. I'm going to say it on my show. I said it on a show. And then Paul Italia text me saying, hey, give me a call. I'm going to say this. I want everybody in the chat to hear me out, okay? The way things is now, people need to focus on their own original path. Jerry, if you're focused on being number one, does that means beating Levon or Ermris? Do that. Don't worry about what Devon says. Michael Todd, if your main focus is the quest for 100 first place wins, focus on that. Who gives a crap what Devon says? Devon's doing Devon stuff now. Devon has morphed himself into the evil, or in our terms, in wrestling terms, the heel. He's be the top heel, okay? Now, and I said this about Paul Italia, nothing against him, but it's like going, dude, when he put that out there, how many times do we need to regurgitate any kind of combination involving Jerry, Michael, Devon? We don't. We've seen it time and time again. And like I said, I wasn't banging on Paul, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you've been in this sport for like a few years. This is year number 13 for me. We've seen that stuff. They were pulling before I even got into the sport, and that was 2011. Okay, so there's that, right? Then all of a sudden, it went from Devon and Michael to like Devon and Travis, who to see who the best left-hand North America puller is. Pump the brakes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, We already have the best left-hander in North America. His name is Corey West. Now, one time did his name come up, right? And by the way, the guy he beat for that spot, Cody Merritt, his name wasn't mentioned. Okay. Then you got my colleague sitting right there next to me, right? His name's not mentioned. So at what point does, Devon have the right or Travis to say, hey, 10 grand for you guys, the winner can be the top guy in North America left-handed? Oh, based on what? And I'm just, hey, these are the facts. You can hashtag that, everybody. Hashtag, these are the facts. TATF. Okay? 3 guys I mentioned that are above those guys that are dealing with this 10 grand, and they haven't been mentioned. So I put that out there. Look it up on YouTube. I put it out there. And then I got a message from Paul Italia. Then I got a video message from Matt Craig. Because, Matt Craig are boys, him and Paul boys. And what they're saying was what I was told from the video, saying, hey, what we need is, character. Those guys are great arm wrestlers, but they don't have the it factor. They don't have the followers. I'm like, okay, I get that. If that's what you want to go with, that's fine, but change the narrative. Don't sit there and say who the best left-hand arm wrestler in North America is when you don't add those guys and they've been putting in the work. Just because Corey West doesn't have the character you're looking for, just because they don't have a lot of following that Devon and Travis or Michael produced. Don't disregard those guys. That irritates me as an arm wrestler because I know the hard work Ryan Espey puts in, Cody Merritt puts in, Corey West puts in. And it's a slap in their faces, and it irritates the hell out of me when fucking guys like them, put them on the back burner because they want to see the hoopla. Fine. Be the hoopla. I'm not saying you can't, but change the narrative. That's all I'm saying. That pisses me off. I'm sorry. I said it.
Well, yeah, because Devon doesn't even when you watch Devon, for example, against Sanders left-handed, he doesn't look like a dominant. It's not a dominant performance. Okay.
Right.
Now, we have all kinds of different narratives here. Like, yes, Corey West, I think, crushes all those guys. He goes through Devon and he goes through Travis. Travis isn't Travis from 20 years ago or 10 years ago even, or even the Moldova version is probably one of the best versions I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jay Clean, good point, Jay Clean. Sanders is good left-handed, but not top 10. And could he beat, anyone in the top 5 in North America? I don't think so. So they need to stop talking about Travis versus Devon for the top. I get so tired of picking 2 rando guys and saying this is, they're not getting the best of anything if they're just going to do that. But
if Travis wants to come back, he'll come back. But Jiminy Christmas, a couple years ago in Texas, what did Travis do? Get on there and say, hey, one-on-one, Michael Todd, myself, be there. Everybody and their fucking mom got on there just to see them do a boxing thing. Yeah. Curveball, kind of suckered everybody. We all got hoodwinked. When Travis wants to come back, he can come back. But right now, competing is not on his high priority. I don't know why we keep knocking on the door. We got other guys who need some of that limelight that can actually do. All it takes is one opportunity. I've been saying that for fucking last couple of years. One opportunity, right? Give you an example. Your countryman, John Terrian. I'm going to bow down to him because he made it because of the Arm Wars Savage Search. He got on there, went on there, whooped some ass. He broke the glass for guys like myself who's going to Arm Wars and everybody else going to Arm Wars just to get that opportunity. That's all you need. You don't need to sit there and try to morph this into WWE. You don't. So when other guys think, oh, this is pretty cool, and they see that, some may think it's kind of cool. Someone's like, oh, is this what this is? Is it all fake? Is it all scripted? Hell, we're trying to get over what Neil did, and everybody was jumping on his stuff. Like, dude, stop trying to make this sport something that it's not. That's why we can't move in the sport. It's arm wrestling, all right? It's not going to be on the USA Network, right? It's not going to be scripted. Enough of that shit. Stop making them work, because then when you do that kind of stuff, then it gets out of control. I know we live in a society where we like chaos. I understand that. We live, and it's sad because us as a society, we want to see a car wreck, but instead of calling 911, we want to sit there and film what the fuck happened. Blows my fucking mind. You know what I mean? Make this sport what it is. You want to make it good again? Fucking compete. And I sat there and said, I had a post on my Facebook. If y'all want to sit there and look at it, hey, use that 10 grand as something else. A tournament. Put some of that 10 grand toward the all ladies, because now it seems like the ladies are putting in more work than the guys are these days, right? Put it toward that tournament. Put it towards some of the other tournaments. I don't care. But don't put it to the same bullshit we've been seeing the last X amount of years, because after a while it gets exhausting. Because let's be real, I think COVID might have saved WAL, because at one point you're going to keep regurgitating the same old guys over and over again. It's because why?
Hey, we got Dan Plexman send us a super chat, Jody.
Woo! That's the first one in like 3 months.
Yeah, $2.79 Canadian. East versus West, April 8th. Will add Paraclass if there are 4 entries. Okay. Good news.
Where is that at anyway?
4 entries. Dan, where is that qualifier? You let us know.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to get on my soapbox, everybody. Sorry about that. But it just bothers me because I'm a wrestling fan. Like, I see all aspects of it, not just, the main event. Even though I'll watch it anyway, I also want to see the up-and-comers, the new guys. What can they do? I mean, we know what Devon and Jerry can do when they get together, or Michael and Devon, or Michael and Jerry. Any kind of that combination, we know what they can bring. Do I really want to see Michael and Devon again? No, I fucking don't want to see it. We've seen those guys on any stage known to mankind, whether it be Arm Wars, King of the Table. I don't want to see it again. I really don't. I'll watch it after the event. I don't want to watch it live. We've seen that before.
Dan says Toronto for that event. You know what, Jody? I would not mind seeing them just one more time. They meet at 242 one more time. Certain rules set, because I think Michael kind of got a little bit I can't even get into it. I don't know if they had a fair go the last time around, but the problem is, Devon is tearing it up right now in that 242 class. He's got a really big challenge coming up, but Michael has taken a couple of losses lately. So one guy's on top, one guy is not. How do you justify that match happening?
Well, you don't. Michael, just focus on your request for 100.
Yeah.
Michael. And then that's cool. Then all of a sudden here's Paul like, hey, where are you going to be at? Where's the schedule? I'll send somebody out there to beat you. It's like, for what are we doing now? Because now at that point, it's not even arm wrestling anymore. It's just a guy turned down your 10 grand, right? Turn down your 10 grand, says, fuck it. If it's going to be a circus, I don't want no part of it. I'm going to reshift my gears where I should be and focus on my quest for 100 first place victories. Okay. Then Paul comes out, hey, well, I'm going to go ahead and put a bounty out. Somebody can beat him right-handed to deny his first place. I'll give him $1,000. What the fuck are we doing now? That's not even arm wrestling no more. Now you make it's the personal vendetta, honestly.
Yeah. David, just to respond to you, there are some things about that match that a lot of people are not aware of, and it's not my story to tell, and that's this teaser for you, but those that know. There wasn't exactly a level playing field going on. Can't talk about it much more than that.
Ooh, Justin. Want to highlight Justin's, I think, super match. Arm wrestling is making it where people think seeing a match once is all you need. Guys in the past saw each other dozens upon dozens of times in tournaments. Yeah, and I get that. I know as far as super matches, usually that's probably the one way you can determine who was the better person, But the problem with tournaments now is that because people got a bite of that apple, it's like, okay, if I go to this tournament, how much are you paying me? Are you going to pay for my airfare? Whoa.
Clifton, my man. I got to send Jody some money now.
Clifton, like I said, I think the last time we had, was it like November or something like that? It might have been November or October last time we got a super chat. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Clifton.
But again, I'm not. I like where our sport's going, but this what we just saw the last 7 days is like, you gotta be kidding me. Because now that's taking over the wave wires instead of what we should be talking about, which is this coming Saturday. That's what we should be talking about.
This is true.
There's
Now,
only 3 matches on the card.
If somebody in the chat, please confirm. ZB, can't talk about it more, my friend, but wouldn't mind seeing it one more time. Now, if there are more than 3 matches, somebody let us know.
I tell you what, you know what I'm glad for? I mean, obviously the co-main events, but I'm glad for that match between Sabin. Is it Sabin or Sabin?
Sabin, I think.
and the guy that pinned Levon, and he's kind of riding off of that,
But he's going against Pavlo.
Yeah, I'm glad Pavlo's finally getting a call now. And like I said, all you guys need is an opportunity. Pavlo's been kicking everyone's ass in the Midwest for how many years now? And now he got the opportunity to go in the Monster Factory. Who did he beat? Michael Todd left.
Yeah.
Paul Lynn right. Boom. Opportunity. That's all you need. Now he's getting some love. And I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it.
Weirdly, that's probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. Because he's an up-and-comer. Pavlo is an up-and-comer. Sabin, we don't have. Jay Clean just said what I was about to say. We have no data on where he's at. Now, he is holding himself out. He is holding on to that win over Levon, and he is capitalizing on that. Is it all for show? Is it all just a tactic to get the match? Is he going to come in here and just tear it up, and all of a sudden we're talking about him like he is the next challenger for Levon? Can he compete in super match arm wrestling at that level? And remember, when I say super match arm wrestling, Sabin primarily did tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he beat Levon.
The last time I saw a super match with Sabin was against Bajan.
That was a long time ago. And he won.
No, Travis tore his pec or something like that.
Well, it's still a win technically.
So, that's what happened there. But that was one of Ryan Bowen's production deals.
Yeah, and it was in the States, right? Yeah.
Right. I haven't seen anything super match since. I'm sure he's done some tournaments, but he's been kind of on the DL, I had him on my show shortly after that, but did he ever get banned from WAV?
He did. Yeah.
That's probably why he's been quiet.
But that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago that happened. I think that was lifted a long time ago. He was at the Worlds not that long ago.
Sabin won the King of the Table qualifying tournament in Dubai. All right.
There you go.
Any footage on that?
That's right. So that's his entrance into King of the Table.
Okay.
And you want to do picks?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I wish I had more data on Sabin. I really do, because I'm not trying to be biased because I'm a U.S. citizen and he's going to go for Pablo, which I would, but I just don't have a lot of footage on him. The last time we did that, Ryan, I put my foot in my mouth and I thought Coach Ray was going to beat Doug Ehrlich, and we saw how that went down.
Well, so did I. But I tell you what, I think Sabin gets this done. I think he gets it done. 3-2.
Good question, Russ. How much does he weigh? Sabin.
Clifton from Edmonton, 15-hour drive. Not close. But I will be in Calgary refereeing Fraser's tournament, the Stronghold event coming up next month on March 18th. All right, where are we at here? What's your pick? Jody? I'm going 3-1. They're all best of 5, correct?
No. King of the Table, 6 rounds.
Oh, that's race to, yes, it's 6. So I'm going to say, well, I'll go 5-1.
I'll say, just for argument, I'm gonna say 4-2 Pablo.
And the reason I say that there's going to be one, I think just experience level in super match situations. I think Pablo's just going to get one on him right off the bat, and then Sabin's going to take over and get settled in.
Right.
Now that's a complete shoot because we do have no data at all.
I mean, as you want to go real safe, just go 3-3, but there's a silver bullet. So, but again, I got this thing in my stomach where, oh yeah, Doug Erlach. I mean, yeah, I want to see him do good, but but Coach Ray's been on the kill, and Coach Ray's 0-2 this year in 2023. So,
Yeah. Okay, let's go, John and Dennis.
Ooh, there's so many scenarios in this one, Ryan.
There definitely are.
Here, and I want everybody in the chat to understand where I'm going with this, and you too, Ryan. And I want y'all to respond. Whatever happens in this match will affect the match after that. Okay. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is because, and we're gonna do a lot of devil's advocate with this one, because let's just say Dennis wins. Now, if Dennis wins, does that put him back in the talk for the number one guy?
No. I say no. I say no because I think he needs to, let's face the facts here. You got legendary arm wrestlers going against each other. You got Dennis versus John. John's coming off a couple of losses. So you can't just say if Dennis beats John, he's right back in the mix.
Well, didn't he beat Zurab? I mean, the last one he lost to Irakli, but then before didn't he beat Zurab?
Well, he lost to Irakli, but also lost to
Angarbayev?
Angarbayev, yeah.
I thought Zurab was in between that, but I could be wrong.
And then Jay Clean throws us a curveball and says, going with Dennis based on John's long-term COVID problems and snowmobile accident. That's news to me. So
he put that on his own YouTube channel.
Okay, well, I mean, as much as I wish I had time to watch everyone's videos, I sometimes don't get through them all, especially with the drama of the last week. I always try to tune into Pradeep's stuff and watch it because he kind of covers everything.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
But we don't, just like Sabin, we really don't know what kind of health Dennis is in.
Is Dennis all the way back? So I'm going to put you on the spot now, Jody.
Okay.
What's the prediction?
Oh, my God. This is a rough one. I can give you the prediction of the next one before I give you one for this one.
Nope.
Okay. God. My heart says John, but my stomach says Dennis, and that still doesn't answer your question. Okay. Well, I think, because John's beat him before, but that was back when John was a little younger then, too. He was a little younger. Don't bet against John. Don't bet against John. And yet John has lost the last couple.
Yeah, that's right.
But if anybody knows how to beat Dennis, it's John.
And Dennis, is he as strong as the version that John beat when John was 200 pounds at the Zloty all those years ago?
Well, John was younger, right? And now John is 240-ish, give or take. But John's a little older now. Dennis, after his freak sickness, right? Is he back 100%? Because if you're not 100%, John's going to figure that out.
All right, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, Jody. It's 4-2 for John.
Yeah. It's rough, man. It's really rough because I think we're all going to see here, and maybe I could be wrong, but everybody hear me out. I think there comes a time where it's like, you know what? We all want to see somebody dethrone Levon. Would Dennis be one of them in about 6 months to a year?
I don't know, man.
It's just hard. I hope if John doesn't, fatigue out and drain Dennis, because like I said, Dennis has been slow pulling, just kind of getting back into it. This ain't no tournament ready, go. Okay, I'm coming for you. We don't know that yet. I'm going to have to agree with you on that, though.
4-2?
Yes.
All right. We are in agreement. John 4-2. And I say this because I think, something inside me, every time I talked about John's last matches, I always thought, like, John's using this to train. Like, this is not him trying it. Remember I said I thought he could have won if he really, really put that effort in?
Irakli or
John?
When he pulled Irakli.
And Angerbayev.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was using them just to prepare for the boss at the end.
Well, remember, in the Irakli match, Dennis wasn't attending. He wasn't in attendance. Remember that?
Yep.
And I mentioned something about, hey, you don't want to give away all. If you know you have a match against a guy and he's sitting there watching you in attendance, you don't want to give everything away. There's the mind game. I'll sacrifice this match just to make him think one thing and then come back and just say, hey,
Forgot about John's win against Oleg Petrenko. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Forgot about John's win against Corey West.
The last 4 matches John has been what? Not in order, but there's been the 2 wins he had, Petrenko and then Zurab, and then you had the losses versus Angerbayev and Irakli. So those are the last 4 matches he's had at East vs. West, You know
what? I'm going to say John. I still stick with that. John 4-2. So
yeah.
Now, the next match. I am intrigued by this. It's most people will probably predict a sweep by Levon.
I'm not.
The man hasn't lost a round in years. Hasn't had an elbow foul in years. But you got Levon versus Hermes.
You know what? I'm going to say right now? Levon wins 5-1, and that one win that Gaspy want to have will be a pin.
I think he kind of told you, yeah, you know what? I don't think that Levon is going to sweep him either.
Nope. Levon will win. Don't get me wrong. Levon's going to win, but Hermes is going to get a pin on him. You watch. I'm telling you. I'm just watching have you seen the last picture that Hermes put up? I'm thinking, good Lord, can you get any bigger? Did someone stick a bike pump in his ear and just start going to town and stuff? Because that guy blew up. And, I'm looking at the hand, wrist, and forearm thickness. It kind of mirrors Levon. And Hermes is a lot faster than Levon. And I think he has the tools to crack that wrist, keep it straight, and bust it back that way. Because once you get somebody back this way, unless you're Jerry, you're not as strong. But I think once Levon feels that, he will set up to where, okay, I will not get my wrist taken again. But by that point, he already have a pin, and they're going to celebrate in Italy. They're going to buy him a house like they did on Gorbayev and all that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, they're going to celebrate. And I think the whole world's going to celebrate. Oh, Levon got pinned. Hell, maybe he is human. Maybe they're in, and everybody's going to look to that match. It's going to have 10,000 views. You watch.
You know what? I'm going to make a crazy prediction, Jody.
Oh, go ahead.
I think Hermes is going to win.
Wow. If he does, that's going to break the internet.
I think it's going to be 4-2. And I think that because of the biomechanics, Hermes is built differently than most of the people that Levon has been pulling lately. He doesn't have that giant long arm like Devon or
they're talking about the lever.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just thinking that he's got. I'm getting it a little bit in the chat, but that's okay.
That's good though. I mean, it's good talk.
You'll all come back here next week, and we'll be talking about how did he know.
Hermes wins. I want you to come on this show next Monday with a crown and a cigar.
I have my crown, and I will wear it. And I got it at one of the North Dakota events where Clifton was at, who just gave us a $99 super chat.
Nice.
Yeah, that's wild.
But
I think it's going to be 4-2. I think it's 4-2 for Hermes Gasparini. And I never thought I'd be cheering for him to win. But everyone loves an underdog story here.
I tell you what, you know who's going to be more excited? Pradeep's in the house. All right. You know who'll be more excited if Hermes wins that match? Jerry. I'm telling you right now, if your prediction holds true and Gasparini comes out with the victory, it'll break the internet. You probably see Jerry Cataract do a somersault in his backyard, because now his matchup with Hermes is a little bit different now as opposed to preparing for Levon. You know what I mean? And don't forget, everybody, it's a dual championship, right? Do you know what I mean by that? So, Ryan, I think you already know this, but everybody in the chat, you probably know this too, but I'm going to say it again. So these are dual, it's a double championship, title for title. In other words, Levon's putting up his legacy hammer against the crown and shield of Gasparini. Winner take all. That's what's at stake. Now, if I'm Jerry, I'm like, what the fuck? I got mine. So does that mean mine doesn't matter anymore? Because when Jerry got hurt, he was supposed to pull Gasparini. He couldn't because he got injured. And Chafee came up and stepped in, and then Gasparini, swept him. And that gave Gasparini the interim world title holder. And Jerry's like, well, I'm the original. What the fuck? So now all of a sudden you get Hermes and Levon, and those guys are putting everything on the table. Winner take all.
Yep. And then Hermes goes on to have a title reign that lasts for a long, long time.
Yeah, here. I told you this, though. If you want to go a step further, fuck Devon versus Jerry and Devon versus Michael, all that bullshit. What you want to see is Devon versus Gasparini. That's the match you want to see. Yes, I'm intrigued about Devon versus Gennady. I am. But the match you want to see is Devon versus Gasparini. Book it. That's the match you want to see.
Is it? I don't know. I think if Hermes just goes and blasts through Levon, do you want to see Devon versus Hermes at that point?
It's because, styles.
There's some history. Right? There's some trash talk going on there. And I know everyone's going to watch.
It's the styles make match. That's all. The styles will make the match. That's all it is. I'm just being real. The styles make the match. That's all,
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand. Hermes isn't near Levon, and that's the truth. 6-0. And it could very well go there. I'm saying 5-1 Levon, because that one loss, I think Gasparini will surprise him with speed, but then Levon will go, okay, that's enough of this bullshit now. I'm going to go ahead and set myself up to where I know what he's going to do. And if he can stop that, then it's over. It's kind of like with Matt Mass. I don't want to go back to him again, but once you figure that person out, you stop that. Okay, now the ball's in your court, Gasparini. Now what do you do? Because once you surprise, and I'm thinking the first win will either come match 1 or match 2.
Oh boy, I don't know. Arm Wrestling News. Check this out.
Oh God. Okay. See, here's the thing. So Devon, can I ask a question here?
And absolutely.
Again, why is it that when Devon asks somebody to cut down in weight, it's okay, but then Michael does, and everybody gives him shit? Why is that?
I don't know.
Michael do the King's move, everybody gives him shit, and then all of a sudden Devon does it. No one bats an eye. What are we doing here, people? Call a spade a spade. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Because Devon has a cult of a personality. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but let's be real. You can't sit there and hit on one guy, and then the other guy does the exact same thing. Well, he's popular, so he gets away with it. No.
Well, and they both, at one point very recently, said they're going to stay around the heavyweight class, and Michael is committed to being down there. Devon is going back and forth, but he is the champ at that class.
Right.
So he has no problem getting down there. We just need to wait a little while.
Well, okay, so and I'll give you a step further. When Devon says after he lost 6-0 to Levon, he even said himself, "I don't need to be up in that weight category no more," which is good. Comes down here, annihilates everybody, you know. But then it's like he takes on Gennady. I'm thinking, okay, for what? Is it because, hey, I beat Prudnik? Hey, I beat Sanders. There's nobody else to be free to prove. I'm sure there's somebody out there that can give him something. But if you're going to go up to the heavies again, you know, hey, maybe Gasparini's the guy. That's just me talking, though. So,
yeah. Well, regardless of who wins this match, what do you think Jerry does next?
I think Jerry's going to be sitting up there with a daiquiri and some popcorn and go, "Let's go, Gasparini." That's what he's going to do. He's going to root for him because I think for Jerry, it's a better match for him to pull Ermis than it is to pull Levon. But at the same time, though, and again, guys, this is just me calling it like I see it. We all saw it. Was not really impressed with Jerry's win over Georgie. I was more impressed with the win over Gennady than I was with Georgie. I thought, you know, because he very well could have lost that match, and I've said this over and over again. For Jerry to be in the talks of being number one in the world, you should have went through. You shouldn't have to struggle against Georgie. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Georgie, but the way that it was kind of sloppy, if that makes any sense, right? So Jerry should have won that 3-1 if everything, and not 3-2. And those 3 wins, 2 of them were elbow fouls. That's like, come on, you can't be proud of that, you know. But Jerry will probably take that and go, okay, you know what? I got through that one. Now it's time to train. You know, I think Jerry said he came in a little lighter than he did when he pulled Gennady. So Jerry just needs to sit back, focus on the match this Saturday, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Either way, Jerry's up next. We just don't know who against.
Yeah, ZB, I see that. And there's a lot of talk about Sanders' level, but the way that he beat Matt Mask was kind of what got us talking about him and how good he is. But who knew that Devon would be so much stronger?
Well, like I said, and I said this before too on the show, when Devon feels like he's in trouble or there's a threat, he goes King's move.
Yeah.
I don't believe one time, and even if you saw the left-handed match, you know, not one time did Devon go King's move against Sanders. Because he felt like, okay, I got this, you know, I'm pretty good. Where Prudnik, you kind of had to. He had to go full King's move to beat him because there's look at match one. Match one, he could have damn near, depending on what ref and what angle was there, he could have got pinned right there in match one. But it went to the strap, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm going to go King's move and drain him out now. Because Devon knows, and that's just Devon being smart, you know, and like, again, I'm saying it again, Devon was smart. Devon will do anything for the win. So if he feels that there's a threat, he's going to go King's move. We saw that in UAWL versus Todd Hutchings. He won't go hook to hook with Todd Hutchings side pressure. Todd will go right through him. But Devon knew that, okay, I need this W. I'm going to go King's move and drain him out. That's just being smart. That's all that is. That's a blueprint.
Yeah. Well, Jody, you want to talk about what's going on with you coming up?
I got 2 events coming up. I've been training good. I know one of my opponents is in the chat right now. But that's in April. That's at the Monster Factory, the weekend of April 29th. Our match is April 28th, that Friday night. And Mr. Russ Schrader and I got a date on the table. Left hand, best of 5. And what makes this intriguing for both of us is that he is currently ranked number 13 in North America, left-handed 242, and I am ranked number 20, the last spot in the hook rankings, left-handed 242. So this is pretty, you know, important for me. So, and then of course next month, as you all know, going to Manchester, England, got a date with Mr. John Thompson, Arm Wars. Yes. So that's what I got going on. What about you, my friend?
Well, I'm thinking about trying to focus on tested events, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Now, with all the drama between the Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation and you want
Freeze. I just forgot. How stupid of me. See what happens when you have a birthday last week. You're 47 years old now, and your mind goes, Mom. We didn't talk about Ryan Bowen and Todd Hutchins this weekend.
Oh, yeah, well, that's coming up too. We got that coming.
And you know what? Because it's in Australia, it'll show on the Friday, United States, Canada time. It will be Friday night.
Well, I'm not making any bold predictions for this one. I think Todd Hutchings just wins.
You know what? Give myself 6 months. I would love to pull Ryan Bowen.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would love to pull Ryan Bowen. Now, I don't have the money to fly down there, but I would love to pull Ryan Bowen. Give me 6 months. And no, I don't do the pancake. I don't do that shit. Sour Patch Kids, yes, but no, I don't do all the pancake garbage.
Hey, not my monkeys, not my circus. Tell them to call me.
Ah, there you go.
Because I reached out to Paul Maiden. And I said, what do you guys got coming up? But if I'm going to go, I don't want to compete in Toronto for Arm Gods. I want to go over to Ireland and compete.
I tell you what, I still want to see you and Mendaugas.
I accepted his challenge, and now the promoters are not doing anything.
What? So they want you to go there. You say, hey, I'm your guy. I'll pull Mendaugas. Now, the next Arm Gods, from what I hear, is in Canada, yes?
Yeah.
But you'd rather pull him there in Ireland, which I get,
You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me I'd rather go to Ireland.
I hear you. I got you. I totally get that, And one of these days, I'm going to still crack beer, man. You just watch. One of these days, I'm going to light that guy up too.
Jay Clean, I got to right some wrongs that happened over there.
Yeah, Jay Clean says it. Will it be left? If he's talking about the Ryan Bowen match, I would love to pull him left, but I don't think Bowen puts any more stock into his left. So it would have to be right. That's why I said give me 6 months to kind of just pumpkin train that thing or whatever you want, call it. But just to see, because now Ryan Bowen's at 230-ish.
Yeah.
He's at 230, putting in some weight. So I'm like going, all right, that's cool. But I just can't wait. This waiting thing is killing me, Ryan. I'm telling you.
Hey, here's the thing. I need to say something about that. So when you do a bunch of videos and you say, I'm on testosterone replacement therapy because I'm post-cycle, that's not testosterone replacement therapy. That is a continued cycle where you're elevating your testosterone that you had artificially placed in your body because that is now low. It's not TRT. It's not the same thing.
Right.
So when you're going to say, well, I'm just doing TRT levels. Oh, okay. Well, what about, it's all a bunch of horse shit. That's why it's such a weird thing in our sport right now. When I can appreciate guys like Tsonev, like Sandris, that, they seem to be consistent and level, and even Krasi, who is just saying we're going to compete naturally. We're going to go to tested events, but also not untested ones. And I kind of appreciate that approach more and more as we move forward because, man,
hey,
would I love to pull Cody Merritt? Yes. Would I love to pull him more on a stage where the playing field might be a little more level? And I'm not saying he's doing anything or not doing anything. I'm just saying I would like it to be a little more fair because that's not what I'm doing.
Well, here's the nuts and bolts of this. Not everybody, but I know some people once you get to that elite level, you kind of have to, almost. You know, you're
None of us
talking
are
to
getting
a guy
any
right
younger.
here where I'm like low testosterone. And I'm like, it is what it is. That's just what it is. It's low. I'm 47 now, you know, and I can still, you know, hang with a lot of guys. All I got to do is just train a little bit more harder at certain angles, and I can get the victory on low T. So hashtag low T right here. There you go. Hashtag low T.
You know, I was actually considering Michigan State's.
Go get you a gorilla statue.
Yeah. It's a big event.
What I want to know from you, every time we had this show on, I was always glued to what was behind you, that belt. And now it's now, what's going on with that league?
Which one are we talking about?
Remember, you had a championship belt for one federation, then it closed its doors, and then they reopened it.
Well,
and then
yes, Stronghold.
yes,
So
what happened with
that league sold. So the event that I'm going to referee on March the 18th,
yeah,
that's Stronghold Arm Wrestling League. That is their first event back.
So
gotcha. I will get my belt, and I still hold that belt. And whoever wins that event will have the ability to challenge me for that belt.
Got it. And yes, thank you for the compliment. Jody looks 30. Yeah, I turned 47 last Monday, and I'm telling you right now, it's weird to say that. And it's even more weird that 3 years from now, I'm eligible to pull Grandmasters. That is probably the most weird thing ever. Weird thing ever.
Yeah. Well, Dean Bolt, the Welsh Wolverine. Whew, give me a call. Let's do something.
Did you hear that little comment? And I'm sure, you know, Paul Maiden might have been drinking a little bit. The Arm God versus Arm Wars series that may happen. Did you hear about that?
No, man. No, I did not.
Yeah, it was just a quick little, you know, clip. It was in the short, you know, but Jay Clean in the house. Have a great week, fellas.
Jay Clean, I
cut.
always do.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty interesting. I just can't wait. I mean, all this waiting and preparing, you know, outside of Uncle John, I don't know who else I'm pulling at Arm Wars, but I just gotta be ready. Because you never know. I'm scheduled to pull John. Only thing I do know is I'm scheduled to pull John that Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm there from the 22nd, March 22nd to March 28th. That Saturday, I believe, is the 25th. Now I could be pulling before then. I could be pulling after that. So who knows? I just got to be ready. It's a mystery to me. I just got to sit there and go like this. Yes, Ward Drake. Grandmasters is cool to pull. Yeah, you know what? I can't wait to do it.
Yeah. All right, my friend, we've been on for an hour, so we better wrap it up today.
Yes, sir. Jay Clean, that is my plan to destroy Uncle John. That is the plan. So
we will have so much to talk about a week from today, and I look forward to that conversation.
I do. Everybody, thanks for joining the show. Make sure you like and subscribe. Ryan's channel. Same thing with my channel.
When Hermes Gasparini is the new champ.
Hey, you know what? If Hermes wins, I'm gonna just, you know, hey, you take the floor, my friend. You take the floor. I'm saying Levon 5-1. Ryan says what? 4-2.
4-2.
4-2. We both say 4-2. John Brzezinski over Denser Plinkoff. I said Pablo 4-2 over Sabin, and you said who? Sabin will win. What?
Sabin. Let's go 4-2 as well.
4-2. Okay, there you have it, folks. Enjoy your magnificent Monday, and we'll see you a week from today.